Hello and welcome to the Enterprise Talk Conversation Series, a peer knowledge resource by the CXOs for the CXOs. Now to our host, Kanika Goswami.
Hello and welcome to our podcast On Stage with Enterprise Thought Leaders. Today we have with us Ivan Ostojic, the Chief Business Officer at Infobip. It's great to have you with us today, Ivan. How are you doing?
Thank you very much for having me. I'm doing great.
It's a pleasure. So Ivan brings his experience of over 10 years from McKinsey and Company to Infobip. At McKinsey, he was a partner and he co-founded the co-led McKinsey's Global Technology Council and McKinsey's Innovation and New Business Building practices. One of Ivan's main goals has been to further strengthen Infobip's critical structure and market-shaping functions, such as strategic project office, marketing, go-to-market, and business model innovation, partnerships and alliances, and strategic M&As. Currently, he is located in Zurich in Switzerland. He holds a doctorate in natural sciences from the University of Basel and the master's degree in management technology and economics from the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology. So it seems to me, Ivan, that you've covered almost every field of study that is required, for a person to do well in any industry. Is that right?
Yes, I actually love education. So I don't think the education is passé. I strongly believe in it. And here in Switzerland, we are blessed with ETH Zurich and other good institutions. So I kind of studied fundamental science, but then also technology. And very early in my career, I got exposed to some cutting edge thinking. Switzerland has very strong programs in entrepreneurship, in tech, and so on.
All right, great. So we again welcome you to our discussion today. And I will say a few lines about Infobip. It's an omnichannel communication solutions company. They make it their business to simplify how brands connect with, engage, and delight their customers at global scale. Their programmable communications platforms deliver a suite of tools for advanced customer engagement and support, plus security and authentication. They make these available to all their clients across the widest range of communication channels possible. Ivan, is there anything I'm missing about your organization? Would you like to add a few lines to it if you
Yeah,
don't give me thought or anything?
I think, yes, we are cloud communication platform. So everything we have is in cloud, and we are the only full stack provider in this industry, meaning we connect critical infrastructure such as connections with telcos, other communication providers, our data centers. We have 42 around the world. 40 are ran in a private cloud with programmable channels that people can use for their omnichannel communication, and then with suite of software tools that enable you to automate, connect, coordinate, and analyze this communication. That's in brief. I think company was founded in 2006 with this purpose to democratize future of interactions between businesses and people. We were one of the first, if not the first company in A2P messaging, meaning application to person. So we enabled businesses to send messages to individuals in a compliant and secure way. And then we built from that, building this full stack that I described. And I think one interesting thing for many people we meet is that we bootstrapped our company from $0 to $1 billion revenue with no external investment. So it was all, self-funded growth. So kind of zebra. And then we entered like very rapid North American expansion with some investments and so forth. So we're truly global, present in physically in 70 countries, but in our services are actually available in more than 190 countries. And last year we have touched 2/3 of all mobile devices in the world with our services.
That's an extremely interesting piece of information which we did not have. So it's great to know, the kind of work that Infobip is doing. So if you're okay, we can move on to the questions now, the discussion we are
Perfect.
trying to have. Right. So what, in your opinion, is the current state of CPaaS and SaaS solutions? And what does the future of this industry look like to you?
Yeah, so by nature, I'm optimist. I think we're in the most exciting period than this industries have ever been. And there are a couple of things that are driving this excitement. So first of all, we see a rapid growth and scale up of rich communication channels. And by that, I mean either global chat apps like iMessage, like RCS for Android users, or most rapidly recently growing WhatsApp channel. But then we also see some regional champions like Viber, like Line, Kakao, Zalo, and so forth in East Asia. And all of these are natively integrated into our and other platforms, and they're contributing to services we can bring. In addition to that, there is much more focus on true, let's say, omnichannel experiences where all of these channels are connected and data is being analyzed. So to that extent, there is a growth of customer data platforms that can receive and analyze data from any channel in real time and also trigger two-way communication. This is also coming in our industries. Ability for people to now build the flows that integrate these channels in automated, semi-automated way. Growth of AI tools like generative AI, intelligent bots, that can be integrated within our platform and in these channels to enhance the experiences, both on marketing side, commerce side, and customer support side through type of omnichannel call centers. So as you see, as I'm speaking, you see more and more. So essentially, if I'm kind of just to summarize back for your audience at a high level, we now have moved from very limited toolkit where we were providing different channels to people through APIs to a very rich toolkit that has like a very composable mosaic of tools that enable you to build like hyper-personalized experiences across the channels, but also within the channels for the users using composable stack. And few players in our industry, including us, also our partners and some market competitors, Twilio and so forth, have this set of advanced tools that can be combined, that businesses can use to combine and drive the engagement in the channel. And we are also at the forefront of innovation with some of the partners like Meta, like Google, because they're Apple, I want to mention, they're very strong in customer experience, and they keep constantly launching new features that will enrich these channels. So we'll see movement of people into conversational channels and richer experiences with more functionality. So I'm excited with that future. At the same time, the industry also, I don't want to say everything is rosy, has some transition to cover at the moment. Still a lot of our business is messaging. There are, let's say, price pressures, different type of things, but I think we will be able to solve these transition through innovation. And I think, this kind of really poses abundance of opportunities for growth in the industry. And I think that's the current state. The ones who kind of figure out how to grow with all of these vectors and bring distinct experience to their customers, so they could serve their customers, will be the winners. And I think we are working hard on that in Infobip.
Right. So when you're talking about various vectors that you can provide services in, omnichannel is now the new normal. So that is, you span all the channels of communication with your clients. So how can businesses ensure personalized omnichannel customer interactions to deliver a top-notch customer experience? And how does Infobip help them to do that?
Yeah. So I will kind of say something. So the personalized omnichannel experience is the new normal. And I think we kind of mentally know this for a while, but I think actually the implementation of it, companies are still lagging. So just recently we've done, in partnership with IDG, we did omnichannel research in Europe, which is one of kind of more advanced continents, but we see APAC growing and so forth. And we found out that actually, companies are indeed moving omnichannel, but only 25 European organizations have reached the omnichannel stage. I think 50 of them are still in what we call cross-channel stage. So they started with this, let's say, standard email marketing, and they added a couple more channels, and they're now trying to connect these channels, but there is not really true seamless omnichannel experience. And there are still, 23% of companies in a multi-channel stage. So they have multiple channels, but they don't really talk to each other. So, while omnichannel is a buzzword, companies still have quite a way to go reach these personalized omnichannel interactions. Now, how to do that? There could be a simple answer to say just tear apart what you have and move to a vendor that has everything for you integrated. But I mean, that's not that easy. So I think the way to think about it is really companies should first start thinking about their tech stack that enables them to reach through 360 view of the customer in real time. And that tech stack should be composable, flexible, such that they can always bring new tools with simple integration. So that's on a tech side. I think the core is really going to be in the data. So how do we receive a real-time stream of the data that we have internally about our customers in various databases, and data that we receive from the channels that customers use to interact with our company, and how is that data connected, analyzed in real time, and how can we trigger personalized experiences for customers based on that data. And so that is where Infobip helps. We have, let's say, CDP solutions, so customer data profile solutions, that because we have native integration with all the channels that can receive any signal that happens in the channels and enable companies to do the analytics. At the same time, companies would need to kind of bring their own internal data integrated, and that can be streamed in the CDP, and actions can be built. The second thing where companies have to work is really advanced analytic layer. So you will have a tech layer, including CDP. Then you need to have an AI layer that then kind of analyzes this data and build unique customer experiences. And in my previous life, I used to work with our AI teams on that. We would be creating digital twins of the customers, and then we would do simulation, which experience is best on that customer. This would be happening in a millisecond, and then based on simulation, we would prioritize what experience to serve to whom on an individual, almost one-to-one level. So that's kind of the second layer. And the third layer is that companies need to do to deliver top-notch customer experiences, to think about the customer experience layer. So that means, how do I now have the data, I now have the intelligence, but what's the design of the experience through an omnichannel way? What's the orchestration across the channels? How will that experience look in a particular channel? And I think there are a couple of things to think about in that layer. So one is orchestration, as I mentioned, but the second one is really the design of experiences. And that's where also Infobip, helps customers. We are at the verge of something that's called conversational experience, which includes conversational AI, so artificial intelligence. It includes rich channels, and it includes various applications in marketing, support, commerce, like conversational marketing, conversational commerce, and so forth. This is where Infobip also helps customers. So we provide orchestration tools, we provide channels for them to integrate, but we also provide professional services, CX consulting, and the whole cohort of conversational experience tools and solutions for different verticals for companies to engage their customers. So if you want to kind of create a flow in WhatsApp that enables you to buy a product in WhatsApp through 3 clicks, we can do it. If you want to have a booking solution that enables you to book appointments with your doctors through a WhatsApp flow that can be pushed on a patient, we provide that, and so forth. And I think moving away from Infobip, companies will really need to think about that. So they will need to think about, what's the best channel for offline reading? What's the best channel to as an entry point to a customer support, and how will that flow look like in order to reach the agent? What's the best channel for triggering people to act on a discount code? And once they figure out these channels might be different depending on the person and the geography, they will need to kind of have all of that integrated. So it should be kind of, that experience should be channel agnostic. And then once they integrate that, they need to deliver that in combination to the apps or websites that they have. And that's really kind of what will drive real hyper personalization. So to summarize, it'll be the data, the connectiveness, and the real-time insights. It'll be the AI and then it will be the experiences, end-to-end experiences that we deliver in a single channel and across the channels in an omni-channel way.
So I think we're close to having the answer for my next question as well, which is, delivering a consistent customer experience is essential for every business. So how can companies fully integrate contact center support, marketing, and sales efficiently as one function? So this is what you were referring to, if I'm not mistaken. Anything more would you want to add to this?
Yeah, because I understood this question also in another way, because you're asking how can company do this. So far we talked a lot about the technology and the tech stack. I mentioned kind of 3 layers, but I think there is also a mindset change that companies need to do. And both in my previous and current life, I've seen examples of that. So they moved from away from thinking into functional ways. Hey, this is marketing, this is support, this is sales. And they started thinking in terms of the end-to-end customer journeys that they need to deliver for their customer. So, right, I'm a customer. Let's say I'm a customer who wants to buy a retail product. You will first attract me through some ad, and I will enter into conversation with your business. Then I will purchase something. But my relationship with you as a company doesn't stop there. I maybe want to track my order. I maybe want to get some loyalty points. I maybe want to ask you something about the product. Maybe there is something I don't understand in the instruction manual and I have a bit of question. And so that's my journey with you. It's not just sales. It's not just support. That's how I see it as a customer. So these companies that were successful, and actually, example, I can't name the company. It was from something I've done before, but this was like in banking. They started saying, hey, there is 50 core customer journeys that we need to deliver end to end. And we will reorganize our teams and we will think in terms of these journeys. And, they kind of brought all the people from different functions together working to deliver these journeys and deliver exceptional experience. And then they started thinking different also in terms of their tech stack. They kept thinking, that's what's my marketing stack, but what is my stack to deliver this journey? And how do I integrate the full data? So that's kind of an example from a previous life. Currently, we also have 2 or 3 examples. I'll just give some. So we are working with one of the banks to move their whole banking from lead generation through kind of account checking, blocking cards, through customer support, like what's the state on my account, or if they have a blockage, they want to move a lot of use cases into conversational channels, namely WhatsApp. And that sits under Chief Digital Officer, and the teams there are also working cross-functionally to think through that end to end. And then the other example, which I find extremely interesting, some of the tourism chains were asking, like, hey, if I have a customer who's calling or chatting with us through a chat app and asking about support around their booking or about the trip that they want to do, maybe there is an opportunity to use those insights and move them then into, new offers or new flows. And, they also started thinking much more cross-functional around the customer journey. So in order to do that, you need the mindset shift, you need the org shift in the organization, but then you also need the technology that enables that, both in terms of data capture, like what we spoke before, AI, but also then the channels that enable you to have those conversations in a continuous way and not forcing them to move from email to phone to email to etc. But like you really need that integrated. So that's kind of my answer to that question. It builds on the previous question, but it adds another angle.
That's correct. So, and that's what I was looking for. So now we move to something slightly different, Ivan. What are the best RevOps strategies that you recommend to improve the business ROI and accomplish the customer experience goals?
Yeah, so the best, RevOps, I think it's kind of almost inferred from my previous answers, but I'll just give a couple of pointers and then we can go a little bit deeper. So one is absolutely cross-functional collaboration across sales, marketing, customer success and growth, or customer care in case of B2C companies. And my example from before where I spoke about companies kind of shifting from thinking functions to thinking journeys that they need to deliver included that. So they were representative of these functions, but not just representatives, like real kind of doers in the cross-functional team. The second is really kind of they need to optimize the processes. So the process optimization, again, aligned against that customer journeys end to end. And then it's technology integrations. So companies need to think about integrating systems from ads, marketing automation, CRM, and customer data platform, customer success or customer care platform, and then adding that layer of intelligence on top to automate tasks, gain actionable insights, or even to deliver experiences through things like Gen AI. And then it's the continuous optimization loop, monitoring, optimizing, seeing where you have drop-offs and drop-outs. And those kind of things brought together would be a real game changer in terms of RevOps strategies, and that could drive ROI quite a lot higher, because you will have synergies in terms of how teams work together. You will have better processes. You will have much more streamlined, integrated technology. And then with this monitoring, my last kind of recommendation, you can start seeing what are the journeys that are performed, what are the ones that don't perform, and then drill down in where do you have drop-offs, what do we need to change, and so forth, and be much more agile. That's kind of what I would recommend.
Great, thanks. And then the next question I have for you is, how can businesses reduce their cloud communications expenditure? And then again, we have an addition to it. How does Infobip help them to do that?
Yeah. So first, asking that question, suggests that somewhat cloud is a commodity where we need to kind of just focus on costs. And I would just reframe the thinking and say, well, we should first focus on value. Because, if you're generating huge return on investment, then the cost become more marginal. But still, I understand. So I think my thinking would be try to deliver impact with optimized costs. So now there are kind of two parts of the answer to this question, how to optimize the cost. So one is on the front end. Now we have proliferation of different channels, SMS messaging, RCS, WhatsApp, Google Messages for Business, various kind of chat apps that I mentioned before. So, with some regional analytics, one can optimize cost quite a bit, adopting mix of these channels and, having failover algorithms that enable you to reach a customer. If you didn't manage to reach them through messaging, you can fail over to another channel and still having maximal impact in terms of the experience for customers. So that's where kind of Infobip steps in. We have all these channels integrated, and we can advise our customers what's the optimal mix of channels to use in which market to reach maximal potential at minimal costs. The second kind of thing to think about what drives cloud communication costs up is when things are like done in silos. So using more automation and orchestration tools would help a lot. So if you have, let's say, intelligent bots that can solve customer requests in milliseconds and no time, it does save a lot of cost versus, using physical calls of humans and bringing customer into multiple loops. So that's quite important. Infobip provides some of these automation and orchestration tools, both orchestration on the channel level, automation tools through AI bots, Gen AI, and also support tools that enable you to move some of the conversation in the chat channels and automatically resolve them through our conversation product. So that's kind of like on the front end. So it's really more about the appropriate channel mix for geography that still gives you best ROI, but or best impact, but with lower channel cost, and then using more orchestration and automation. On the cloud backend, I think there are a couple of things, and I'll also mention how Infobip can help. So one is, optimizing so-called content delivery networks. So using local servers, using improving data transfer and storage by using better compression. So to reduce the amount of data that's flowing in and out of the cloud and the distance that's being used. And I think one distinct feature of Infobip is this infrastructure layer that I mentioned, as we have 42 data centers. Our data centers are quite close to the customer, and they have a high volume intake. They can handle a lot. So what we can do for our customers is really help them also on that infrastructure layer to optimize the distance of their data flows, to optimize the amount of data that's flowing in and out of the cloud. And I think that's another lever that companies can pull on the back end to reduce those costs, cloud communication costs. So that's in a nutshell what I would say on that.
Right. Now, my last question to you, Ivan, is a kind of a summarization of what you've been saying till now, but it would be nice to hear it separately. I think our audiences are going to appreciate that. So, what tools you think can be leveraged in the tech stack to enrich the entire customer life cycle? So, this would include everything that you can put out there in the market, right?
Correct. Well, this question, we could now talk like a full day, about it. But let me just quickly kind of summarize as you proposed. So, first of all, I think, it's my very strong view that companies should adopt this philosophy of composable tech stack, where they're taking best of breeds of different companies and really composing them in the way to deliver what they need to deliver to their customers in a most efficient way. So that's just like the mindset I have. In that sense, I think there are a couple of critical things to have in this tech stack to enrich the entire customer lifecycle. So one is, of course, the CDP, the customer data platform, because data is the backbone of every rich customer experience. Then I think we need to have like very advanced automation tools, i.e. chatbots using Gen AI. It's magical what they can do for marketing, for conversational commerce, for customer support, offloading some of the previously human done tasks, automating them and giving you answers in a millisecond. And then I think one thing that is extremely exciting for me, and where Infobip is also doing a lot, is the area of this whole conversational experiences. So now, essentially, what one can do is to bring single channel omni experience into one channel. So that means, I can do it like a whole kind of app replica in things like WhatsApp or iMessage. So enabling people to do, let's say, end-to-end booking, or to file the complaints, or to talk to the agent only in that channel, but starting to chat with the bot, escalate to chat with an agent and a call. And I think this has other advantages, because all of a sudden you can be 24/7, it can be real time, can be asynchronous. And I think those tools, those conversational experience tools, should be definitely leveraged in a tech stack to enrich the whole customer lifecycle. And then everything else, like the AI that triggers experience, the orchestration tools, I think that's kind of just the backbone that brings that rich experience. So in that sense, like Infobip really covers the full stack. We can provide CDP if they don't have another one. If they have another one, because we believe in this composability and flexibility, we can integrate with it. We can provide conversational experience in any channel. So it can be in RCS, it can be WhatsApp, it can be in iMessage. And we can provide also these kind of tools, which like orchestration tools. And together with the partners, we can provide analytics, how the journeys are performing. And, we can allow companies that are specialized in AI to build their own AI algorithms that would then enhance these experiences. So that's in principle, it's, as you see, the topics are somewhat repeating, but I think it's very important to think it in these terms, like what's the backbone stack, what's the automation and AI tools we are using, and what's the experience tools that we are having. Especially exciting for me is this conversational experience tools. And that would really help across the full life cycle, because then you would really, interacting with the business would be equivalent to having conversation with a friend. And it would be so seamless that you wouldn't feel it. And all your conversation, all your interactions would be memorized. So next time when you start conversation with the business, it feels like natural conversation flow building on previous interaction. interactions and not like calling a business and having to repeat everything you've done before. I think we all had that experience. That's the state we hope the customer's experience will come to, and we are just there to provide tools for businesses to build and delight their customers.
Excellent. Thank you so much. It was such an interesting answer. And of course, the best friends are when you can just pick up a conversation after a big gap of time, the gap was never there. So that is a kind of relationship companies need to build with their customers to last the relationship, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for your time, Ivan. I really appreciate the information, the opinions that you've shared with our audiences today. Thanks a ton for that.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed the conversation. I hope we can continue in this or another format.
Definitely we should.
Thank you so much for being with us. Please do follow us on social media for regular updates and new content.